Hello, I'm Pastor Kevin McNeil, pastor of Bethany Christian Church in Roanoke, Virginia. Moderator elect of the Region of Virginia Christian Church Disciples of Christ, member of the Anti-Racism Pro Reconciliation Team, and regional representative to the General Board for the Christian Church Disciples of Christ in Canada. I am also a husband, a father, an uncle, a son, a cousin. In the current climate of our nation, we see a constant and persistent presence of hate and racism. The presence of racism and hate is ugly and distasteful, producing a horrible stain on the fabric of this nation. The horrific acts that seem to continuously play themselves out in the life of our nation are not just dreadful, they are evil and against the will of God. The Holy Scriptures call us to love each other, and none of this is love. While we once again hear the calls to be patient and let justice work, it is incredibly difficult to trust this process, which has repeatedly failed communities of color. The Holy Scriptures call us to remember that we are all made by God and all equal in God's eyes. Paul reminds us in Galatians that there is no distinction between us, Jew nor Greek, rich nor poor, black nor white. Therefore, it is wrong and against God's will for us to draw lines in the sand that Christ himself does not draw. As disciples of Christ, we call ourselves a movement for wholeness. If we are to be such, each of us must act and act now to abolish racism wherever we find it. It is our moral duty as disciples of Christ to fight against racism and hate wherever we find it. It is time to act. It's time to stand and advocate for equality and justice, and to do nothing calls these acts of hate just. It's time for us to be uncomfortable. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to open our mouths and embrace our brothers and sisters of color and eradicate hate and injustice wherever we find it. To echo the words of our regional minister, we are not okay. As an African American male clergy in the region of Virginia who is raising two young sons, I cringe and I worry daily. I have had to have painful conversations with my sons and my nephews and their friends, all who struggle to be hopeful when these acts happen over and over again. I'm asking you to join with us, with our anti-racism pro reconciliation teams, to advocate for right, advocate for justice, and advocate for change. Do not allow racism and prejudice and hate to live here. We must stand together. The time for pacifism is gone. The time for action is now. When I think about all that has been in the news, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Samuel Du Bois, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Terrence Crutcher. How many more have to die? How many more families have to be hurt? How many more lives have to be lost? It's time for us to act. It's time for us to stand. It's time for us to be who we have claimed to be all these years. Let the church stand up and actually be the church. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 20 says, "The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I am black. Astonishment has taken hold of me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? Let me ask you this question. Is there no balm in Gilead? Are we done? Is this it? Are we comfortable with this being who we are? I say no. I say it's time to stand up. And I'm tired of hearing about we have to wait till the right time. The time is right now. Because I believe, just like Jeremiah, the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. Until every life is sacred, until justice reigns, we are not saved. Until those who would perpetuate hate are made uncomfortable and love wins out, we are not saved. So I'm asking you to stand with us, to fight with us, to believe with us, to move with us, because that's what Christ calls us to do. And let us be a movement for wholeness in a fractured time. This has been Reverend Kevin McNeil, pastor here at Bethany Christian Church. Thank you.